Greetings, YouTube. Danny Staten here on the Daily Damn Blog, and I'm back. I'm back with another comic book review. Today, I'm taking on what my friend Dave Sunstorm would definitely call the good stuff. I'm taking a look at H.R. Pufnstuf from 1972. My comic book's a number 8. It's in really rough shape. I think old H.R. Pufnstuf has been through a lot. Does anybody remember H.R. Pufnstuf? Yeah, this would usually be the part where I played the opening or a video, but the last time I did that on H.R. Pufnstuf comic books, I got a copyright claim. So I don't guess I'll be playing the opening theme. I guess I'll just have to tell you about it. So in a nutshell, a really quick nutshell, this little kid named Jimmy had a magic flute. Jimmy went for a ride on a boat. The witch saw Jimmy on the boat and she cast a spell, which created a hurricane that blowed him out well into the ocean. Well, to the island of living dolls. Okay, whatever. The island of living everything. And just as he started to drown, he was saved by Puff, the magic dragon, and now the witch is in a dastardly attempt to gain the power of his magic flute. I swear that's the story, Dave. I love this. It's a Witten comic. I don't do too many Witten comic books. And today we're taking a look at H.R. Pufnstuf, number 8 from 1972. And let's bust it open and see what it looks like on the inside. I think the art's great. Inside the front cover, we get a really cool ad for a Daisy BB gun. Tell me, wow, you can get the targets for $1.99 for this incredibly cool gun. Speaking of copyright claims, I wonder if Marvel knows this comic book escapes as we get the Trojan horse chicken. As Pufnstuf and Jimmy trot the island, they see a cloud appear, a cloud with a horse in it. Looks like a winged horse from this angle, like a Pegasus, but it's not. Are you ready for this marvel? It's the mighty fat Thor, riding a chariot through the sky. He lands on the island. I am Thor! So in the panels, brought to you by the Daily Dan Blog with some really fine art from back in the 70s, we get a really good look at Pufnstuf. It almost is like the pages come alive at you. The art is so good in this comic book. The god Thor recants the story of a strange mist that propelled him to this magical island of living everything. Oh boy, Pufnstuf has an idea that Thor could fly Jimmy and his flute home, and Jimmy's happy, but the witch says, I'm not having none of that. I will have that magic flute as she casts a spell from the know-it-all book to see if she can stop Jimmy from escaping the island with his magic flute. Oh, good God. Anyway, she feeds Thor's horse some of the magic juice. Thor sees her doing it and swings his hammer and throws it just like in a Marvel movie. Like I said, I wonder if Marvel knows this exists. Thor's hammer goes up flying and smashes the bowl of Witchy Poo's magical potion. But it has a strange effect on the hammer as the hammer returns back to Thor and whacks him on the head, knocking him unconscious. Goof Thor. Goof Thor goes down. I'm laughing hard. This could be some of the funniest scenes I ever seen in a comic book. I must be really tripping. Oh, and then we get one of my favorite commercials. That's right. I love Mark Jewelers. It's actually named Mark Jewelers because if you spent this much money on these items from this company back in 1972 and you bought these overpriced rings, you, my friend, were a mark. While during the commotion, the evil witch, Witchy Poo, too bad she's not from Las Vegas. Witchy Poo, I'm sure her son is, though. Ark. Anyway, Witchy Poo snatches the magic flute. She runs away in ecstasy that she has the flute, but out of nowhere chicken man comes in with some of that backwards potion stuff and slaps her right in the face with it. Oh no, they say surround her, but her backwards potion makes her run away in reverse really fast. And since the horse had took the potion, it runs away the other way, causing a huge, huge crash and bash with our heroes. The lizard man shows up, offering advice to the group. Him and Owlman have a plan. Owlman, really? Our heroes contemplate the castle. Could they invade the castle? But with his hammer working backwards, the great Thor fears the castle is impenetrable. Inside the castle, Witchy Poo, is checking out reversing stuff. That's right, she's trying to figure out how to reverse the reversing spell. To get everything back to normal, our heroes need a plan. They hold council. And it kind of looks like Lord of the Rings might get a little bit of copyright here too. Then they concoct the greatest plan of all time. The Trojan chicken. A chicken costume. A chicken that will pretend to lay a golden egg. A chicken costume for Jimmy. We'll dress Jimmy up like a magic chicken. We'll have chicken lay a golden egg, which is wonk, wonk, wonk. A painted rock. And Witchy Poo must have the golden egg-laying chicken now. One quick spell and the chicken takes off. Clankety clank, 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 right into the castle. It was quick, it was easy, the door closes. Witchy Poo has her chicken that lays the golden egg. Yes, she rubs her hands together in happiness. She's a winner all the way around today. No monster thing. You can't eat the chicken. Once inside the castle, Jimmy releases Chicken Little from the wing pocket. What? And Chicken Little and Jimmy search the castle for the magic flute. Once they locate the magic flute, Chicken Little guy flies off with it. Ha, 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 you've lost your flute. And now it's up to Jimmy to escape the witch's castle. And back in 1972, you could have ordered any of these 88 wonderful, full-color, all different posters for 65 cents. I guess I missed this ad. I don't remember having none of these really cool posters. But I had these nasty-ass sea creatures. I had these things. I had these shrimp. And they stunk up the house, boy. Meanwhile, not paying no attention to the flute being gone, Witchy Poo's wanting a golden egg and the chicken won't lay one. So she's thinking about, well, if you won't lay a golden egg, wonk, wonk, wonk. I guess we'll just make some chicken soup. Yeah. Meanwhile, Mr. Owl, the smart owl, has managed to come up with a concoction, a magic syrup. You just rub it on, and it should fix the reverse spell. So they rub it on the hammer and finally get the hammer working. Meanwhile, Witchy Poo's contemplating making chicken soup. Her and the vulture are giving Jimmy a rough time. When the boiling water starts boiling, Jimmy says, "Oh no, I'm out of here." He comes out the costume. Witchy Poo realizes it was a trick. Jimmy grabs... He grabbed the upside-down potion and chucked it all down Big Bird's throat. Big Bird winds up upside down, bouncing on his head. It's at this moment Thor and our heroes invade the castle. With his hammer working correctly, the hammer flies in, knocking out everyone. Witchy Poo's broom zaps up by her coattails and flies out of the castle, flying her literally to safety. While she gets away, our heroes are perplexed. The end. Not the best story in the world, right? Oh, how sweet. I never saw these before. It's incredible. Whatever that word is, Apple, it's little pendants for $1. They're cute. They're snuggly, and I never had them. I also never had the Johnny Bench magnetic baseball game. I've seen it. I heard about it. But Nelly Dan never had it. I guess after all that, I should do a few shout-outs, right? So just bear with me for a minute, and I'll run through my usual little 60-second shout-out list. It goes out like this. A shout-out to Dave Sunstorm and his incredible Steven Sunstorm, the Good Stuff Brothers here on YouTube. A very special shout-out to Thrash Pondo Pons, my partner in crime. You can see me usually every other Sunday on his channel when we take on all kinds of subjects. Last week we had UFO Man Tim on. Be sure to check out that episode. We're taking the next 2 weeks off. We'll be back around the 21st with a whole new episode and something really cool. Be sure to check that out. Be sure to check us out in the meantime on the Unapologetic Geek Show. You know, the guy E. McGill who wrote that book called Paradox. You can see us on his show every Sunday at 1 p.m. This week and last week, we're checking out the movies of Michael Crichton. Be sure to catch part 1 last week and be ready for this week. It's coming. And, of course, a special shout-out to my partner, Bigfoot Michigan Rob. I just got the new Real McCoy's comic book from back in the day over there. I think I'm checking that out real soon. You see all these hats over here? Every one of them were sent to me by people on YouTube. So I always try to show them Blue Line Bigfoot buff. And my flock is everywhere, Sarah, as well as that really cool cut that BBB sent me. BBB. Brain Bender's Banner. You can see us there on Saturday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern. With some special bonus shout-outs to BK on the Air, Pat McCormick at the Golden Rage of TV, Big Gus 45s. My flock is everywhere, Sarah, the best producer in YouTube history. The Nostalgic Pod Blast Chance, Snarky from Snark and Sass, Tony of the Dead, Moggs the Mongolian Monster UFO Man re-uploaded, Blue Line Bigfoot Caucasian Sasquatch, Gypsy Road, also known as Hair Metal Revolution, Long Island Bigfoot, my friend Caldy. Be sure to check out the Caldy Show, Shin Godzilla 1987, the Retro Nerd Girl Iron Dogger, Tracy Rothmeyers, and the Life and Sad Endings channel. I think I got everybody. I made a new list. Well, we move on to the next story, where for some reason, Witchy Poo got carried off at the end of the last story. Yep, she's gone. And we don't know where she crash landed, far, far away. But Thor, the great Thor, the superhero that Marvel should probably copyright claim this comic book for. He took off. He took off and left. He said bye and left little Jimmy and the flute on the island, not helping them because something about he's from a different time and it wouldn't really help them anyway. But whatever, Thor's gone. So what are they gonna do? Well, I think maybe we should take over the castle. Wah, wah, wah. Sounds like a good idea. Meanwhile, Witchy Poo crash lands in Alaska somewhere, deep in the Arctic, and she's being helped by Inuit Eskimos, freezing her little witch tail off, trying to head home. But in the meantime, the heroes are like, well, she's gone. Let's check out the castle. They roll into the castle. Witchy Poo's army says, well, we're outnumbered. Let's give up. And everybody's going to be happy without Witchy Poo. Witchy Poo, meanwhile, has commandeered what do you call them? Not an albatross. What is that bird? Do you believe I had to Google pelican? Oh my God. She captures a pelican, waving a fish in front of it. She's heading home fast. They're cleaning up the castle. They're taking over. They think she's not coming back. Goofies are planting flowers in the castle, making it look all beautiful and cleaning it up, getting rid of the cobwebs, firing up the oven to cook, and that's when the boss witch calls. That's right, the leader of the witch coven has called. Oh no, what will we do? Well, Witchy Poo's sick, my dear. She's got the horrible headachy thing. She can't come to the pommel. That's just horrible. We'll have to cheer her up. So all the witches decide to head to Witchy Poo's for a coven party to cheer her up. Wah, wah, wah. In an incredible comic book commercial I do not ever remember seeing before, you could have blowed yourself up. That's right, you could have blew yourself up to incredible size and giant full-size posters. You could have miniaturized yourself and had your face put on a custom watch. You could have been a star. You could have made your own star stuff. You could have took your childhood photos and blowed them up to poster size back in 1972. So in full panels, brought to you by the Daily Danton blog, we carry on our story. HR Pufnstuf helping Jimmy, taking over the castle. I could have made such good jokes about that last commercial. Oh, good gravy, the witches are coming. Whatever will we do? Whatever will we do? We're going to have to come up with some kind of plan to deal with these witches, and that's what they're doing. They're coming up with a plan to deal with this coven of witches that's coming to visit. They get rid of one witch, and then they're going to have a house full, boy. Meanwhile, Witchy Poo's still trying to head home as commandeered Moby Dick. She's riding Moby Dick towards the island. Another joke I can't make. Oh, Witchy Poo, and she grabs. Oh, good God! She grabs hold of a dolphin and heads to the island even faster as they dirty it up, replace spider webs, and make it look creepy because the witches are coming. So Info Panels, brought to you by the Daily Dan blog. When last time you enjoyed Daily Dan biting his tongue for a nice, clean, no copyright, no punishment video trying to bite my tongue. Oh, God. And this comic book is not making it easy for me to bite my tongue. Finally, after a month at sea, flying through the air and riding fish, Witchy Poo finally arrives back at her castle. And as she comes through the front door, there's a clunk and a bonk and a bank and a hank. And what happened? But Witchy Poo fell into Pufnstuf and Jimmy's horrible trap. Now she's really gonna be mad. Oh God, it's Witchy Poo! At that point, Witchy Poo is angry, furious, but still held in ropes. She's not happy. She's making threats against Pufnstuf. And guess who's on the way? Oh, the Coven of Witches! Of course, when the babbling dumb witches show up, they zap the wrong guys. They zap the bad guy henchmen by accident, turning them into a mushroom and Pinocchio. Witchy Poo's like, no, you idiots! It's at that point Witchy Poo takes a bucket of bricks to the head. That can't be good for a Witchy Poo. Pufnstuf and Jimmy decide, I think now'd be a good time to get the heck on out of here. So our heroes decide to head on out the back door. They head out the back door, Jimmy disguising as a witch, or the plan where Jimmy can sneak past the witches as pretending to be one, maybe. And the mushroom and Pinocchio's telling the witches, hey, you got the wrong guys, girls. The bad guy, the ones you want are inside. Why? Why do you keep doing this to me? Get the original from Dirty Time. That's right. You could have had a Dirty Timepiece. I'm biting my tongue, Dave. This comic book is trying to get me, boy. So the witches are running amok. The good guys are running back and forth. You can't tell the good witches from the bad witches from the fake witches. It's crazy. The trees are even confused. The talking, walking trees, which makes me think that J.R.R. Tolkien was ripped off in some way as the walking trees complain about all the noise. Of course, the talking trees. The talking trees. Our friends are Pufnstuf, and that's a bad thing because he's an enchanted magic fairy dragon from another planet. And the trees begin to take control of the evil witches, allowing Jimmy and his other friend to escape through the woods. Witchy Poo, all upset with the trees, uses her magic to make them release it. The boss witch is really upset with Witchy Poo. And in the meantime, our heroes manage to escape. And Witchy Poo is stuck explaining the mess to the Grand Poobah Witch leader. The leader of the coven. And we get a nice little picture in the end of all our heroes escaping the evil witches. Are you kidding me? Yeah, kids, you could have had your Roach designs are now available as iron-ons, and when I think Roach, that ain't exactly what I was thinking, but okay, that'll work. I had all these iron-on patches from the back of my jackets and shirts back in the day. Some more than others. I also had these big Tonka toy-looking monstrosities you see in the back of this comic book as a kid. I didn't have these cheap Mattel knockoffs, though. I had the real Tonka deal. And it was the big 70s when this book come out. So, we had to have lots of hippie stuff from the 70s on the back of this cool comic book. I think I probably had 90% of the stuff you see floating around on the back of this comic book. Definitely had the peace dog tags. I had the real dog tags with my name. I had all these little patches. My grandma would sew them on all the rips and tears in my clothes. Hillbilly South Carolina boy. And that's my look at H.R. Pufnstuf number 8. Number 8 from 1972. You know what Dave would call the good stuff. I'm 100% sure of that. And I tried to keep it clean as I could. This comic book made it really hard to be a nice guy. But I'll be back again really, really soon with another comic book. And to give you a sneak peek of what's coming up, dun, 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 dun. Can you figure out what rare old comic book based on a TV show I acquired this week? Let me know in the comments below. Plug over, dudes.